thing I want to say is NEM versus Ethereum. There's a lot of discussion on how they differ, and honestly, I think both can be really good for the economy. Um, as far as total amount of NEM versus Ethereum, for every Ethereum, there's approximately 97.7 NEM, give or take a few digits, but 97.7 NEM for every Ethereum. So I wanted to go into discussion about that right away. So if you do the math as of right now, 97.7 times 20 cents is roughly $19.54, somewhere around there. So Ethereum's getting a valuation of 190 per Ethereum. So they're valuing Ethereum's tech over NEM's tech 10 to 1. Do I think that's a fair valuation? Maybe, but not for long. Not when Catapult gets released. I can see Catapult giving the community of NEM users a much more fairer valuation, as I still believe NEM is undervalued at this current period of time. Okay, so for the sake of the video, I'm going to use Poloniex. This is the past 2 days of NEM. Just recently, it had a very nice spike up to 22 cents. I feel like it was a pump and dump. Came back, bounced pretty low, and then right up. And yeah, you can see it now. We're staying pretty steady, which is a good thing, because the steadier this becomes, more of a nice little backbone we're developing for NEM. I can't see NEM dropping off past this point too many more times unless there's a big market crash once again, which I don't believe there will be anytime soon, but you could never judge this market, and I'm not the best with markets, so. But I just thought it was pretty interesting. We're developing a nice line right now today. Not really moving at all, just staying right there. So yeah, I know Ethereum's having a really good day today because the Chinese exchanges are going to start to include Ethereum, which I could see bump up the price of Ethereum for a little bit, but smart investors in China, I would imagine, wait a little bit, wait for it to come back down, because there might be a little bit of hype around it. So we could see a nice ripple effect. Get the pun there? No. We could see a nice ripple effect right back into the NEM accounts in just maybe a few days. Actually, I could see Ethereum going up pretty nicely on Wednesday, and then see it bounce back, and see some of the other cryptos get some money going into it, flowing right on in, maybe bouncing up the price a couple pennies. Yeah, so that's just my two thoughts. I'm not anywhere near a market investor, but I'm using Poloniex right now as showing kind of what's going on with NEM for the past 2 days. So yeah, just I think we're developing pretty nicely for NEM actually, so it's not bad news. Okay, so next I want to discuss LexTag. LexTag is working with NEM blockchain technology to provide authenticity for anything you may want to purchase. For example, you don't have to get a certificate saying, oh yeah, this is an authentic item. Instead, it can all be done through NEM on the blockchain. And that makes life a lot easier. Instead of losing certificates or losing anything, it's all backed up on the blockchain. You can check history, sales, repairs, anything that has to do with the object. They got a really nice brief explainer video I'm going to link down below. And you might want to just take a look at it. It's pretty cool. It could help definitely with cars, checking previous owners of the cars, if there were any upgrades on this product, where the product was manufactured and came from. This can all be done with the VIN number, but you can also do it on your phone now, which is pretty sweet. This has a lot of uses, and I don't think everyone's thinking of everything this can be used for, but this is just one of the small features of NEM that makes it great. I don't see other companies using anything near LexTag proving real authenticity of an item. So that's one of the major benefits of NIM, and that's why I got hooked to NIM. Well, one of the reasons. But yeah, I just wanted to go over LuxTag real quick for maybe some of you who didn't know about what LuxTag was or how it worked. Okay, so NIM uses POI, proof of importance. An account's vested stake will vest itself 10% daily. So if you have 20,000 NEM, which would be approximately $4,000 worth of NEM right now, each day you would have to sit there and get your NEM vested. So if you have 20,000 NEM, your first day it'll vest 2,000 NEM, and then you'll have 18,000 remaining for your next day. So your next day it'll invest 1.8 thousand NEM, and then the next day it'll invest 1,620 NEM, so on and so forth until you have 10,000 vested. After that, you can sell back the NEM, or you can keep it, as if you believe in NEM as much as I do, you might just keep it. But very efficient. And then once you have 10,000 harvested, well, you have 10,000 vested NEM, you're allowed to harvest. And harvesting basically allows you to get a small amount of NEM daily on like a Raspberry Pi. Very energy efficient, as you can see here on the graph. 0.029 million light bulbs compared to Bitcoin miners using 17.1 million light bulbs. So if you're pro energy, pro I don't know, whatever, green, pro green, what is it called? I forget. Anyway, NEM might be a better option than Bitcoin and Ethereum as far as saving energy costs. Now I know Ethereum's going to switch over to a different state, so that may change, but for right now, NEM is very energy efficient. Okay, so Bitcoin has suffered from numerous attacks where it has been spammed, and transactions have been spammed, flooded the network, resulting in the Bitcoin network grinding to a halt. This means the transactions would take ages to confirm when it would never need to be, and people are forced higher pays to get their transaction confirmed within a reasonable time. Now this is protected by NIM, as NIM has spam protection. Basically, if the attacker were to attack, you would see transaction fees exponentially rise, making it more expensive for the attacker in relation to the spam they were trying to produce, and it would just not be worth it for the attacker. Next, NEM is, I think, might be one of the only high up coins to be using multi-signature technology. So if you have to swap authorized money somewhere and you need a joint account, it enables multi-signature, high-end stuff. You got multi-signature use. That way you might need a certain amount of signatures for how many partners are using the multi-signature. Pretty useful technology as well, and I think it's being undervalued as by the cryptocurrency community, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. As we here in North America are not getting nearly as much information about NEM as we should be, and that's a bad job by the marketing team of NEM, which hopefully it feels like they might be turning it around very soon. Okay, so I'm going to try to jump into Catapult here, guys. I know this video's been going on a while, but there's a lot to talk about with NEM situation. Catapult is basically going to be a financial overhaul for all the financial institutions, and it's going to be a very nicely set up system, almost like the WordPress to an HTML, where you got everything all set to go and you just got to implement it real quickly. It's very nice, very set up. And they're working on it right now, and it's supposed to be due the first quarter of 2017, but they're a little late on it, so I'm sure they got bumped back maybe a few months. I know that they are testing with the biggest bank in Japan right now, well, the online bank, let me make sure that's clear, the biggest online bank in Japan, and according to the tests of the transactions and whatnot, going really well. So a while ago, they developed Catapult, and they said this is what they're going to do to help the financial situation that is currently going on, which is an absolute disaster. So they're going to build a platform that is very inexpensive to deploy, and it's going to have minimal risk. It's going to be fast at speed, and then it's going to allow the financial institution to carry on business as usual with minimal interruptions. That's the goal. And then they're going to go ahead and create a blockchain platform that uses multiple ledgers for multiple use cases. And they're going to make sure they're going to clean everything up that's going on right now. Because right now, financial situation is a disaster for many banks, as they are having more and more issues every day. And this is going to be like the fix to all the financial issues. Okay, so Catapult was launched in 2015. It was scheduled for release of various stages starting in the first quarter of 2017. Not there yet, so we're going to have multiple Catapult releases, which only add to the better of Catapult. All of Catapult is built in the C++ language. So the plans for the features of Catapult are basically going to be high scalability, designed for industry standard, and offering, introduction of a high scalable API gateway server. That's pretty nice. High throughput message queues for real-time analysis. That's brilliant. Real-time analysis, definitely needed. High transaction rates. This is fantastic. 3,000 transactions per second. That is beautiful. Permissible access to accounts. Each person can only access what he or she can see. That's nice. Allow external and decentralized or centralized applications of smart contract solutions. That's very helpful as well. You're gonna have metadata. You're gonna have a built-in messaging solution. A multiple ledger with multiple corresponding assets in one blockchain. So every account can hold multiple assets from multiple ledgers in the same blockchain. Basically, and you can go into freezing accounts. All this is available with Catapult. It's brilliant. It's a complete overhaul of the current crap we have going on with banking. And then you can also find transaction reversal with a full audit trail, so you're set there. And the testing they were doing sounded like they were doing really well in Japan, and that doubled the value of NEM just a couple weeks ago. So the end result will be a high solution and customizable blockchain solution that can be utilized by financial institutions as a basis to form a core operating platform in the long term. So the end result is a complete overhaul of the banking solution. And the best part is, I think it said somewhere in here about they're going to save 1,000% on the fees that would normally occur. So right there alone, 1,000% of every fee will just be dumbed down just like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much my summary of what Catapult is. It's going to be very, very good. You can check out the white paper below. I just wanted to go over it and give you guys the information you may want for NEM and Catapult. Catapult, like I said, I saw an article by the CEO of the Long. I saw an article. They're planning on releasing it this summer, so get on board, guys. Okay, so next, NEM has partnered with a gaming company called Zai Studios. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but anyway, the partnership will allow for a big expansion into the gaming world using blockchain technology, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically, blockchain technology in the gaming world. Quite a few companies have blockchain technology in the gaming world. Um, However, this is just another bonus that I just wanted to mention real quick of using NEM. I know Ethereum has um, gaming connections, so but still, nonetheless, I this is another perk of getting in with maybe the Japanese version of Ethereum. And you know, even like I've made this comparison earlier in the video, but WordPress versus HTML, that's kind of how I feel about NEM versus Ethereum. Ethereum's like the HTML of the world, a little bit harder to use, where a lot of pre-built application is within NEM, which I really think is being undervalued right now. Okay, so NEM has partnered with, recently NEM visited Malaysia to advertise, showcasing their platform, and they collaborated with Ecobit, which Ecobit is a green-friendly solution. Basically, Ecobit plans on using NEM to help them, and the partnership should actually go pretty well. NEM will use smart contracts to enable and manage and monetize natural resources to reduce carbon emissions ethically. It also creates a transparent, immutable digital supply chain ledger that allows anyone to track and monitor the carbon credits / impact, projects yield, agricultural produce, and the movement of products from the origin to supermarket shelves. Basically, a very nice partnership to have. Um, Green friendly, once again, just like I said earlier. Something you might want to look into. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I've been talking a while and there's so much to talk about, but last thing, NEM Apostle, basically it would allow as a timestamp service. Could be very useful to track where people go, track what's up with everything. You need to timestamp a paper for some reason, or when something happened, all available through NEM and the Apostle service they are offering. Um, Once again, this is kind of like LuxTag, where you don't see all the benefits right now, but being able to timestamp something and prove something was legit could be the difference between problems and no problems. So timestamping is definitely a useful thing to have. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video, guys. I appreciate you all watching. If you want another video on NEM, I'll try to give you one. Um, I really enjoy it, what NEM is doing, and I think overall we're seeing NEM undervalued over here in the US, and I think NEM's going to get on it real soon, and we might even see NEM join Coinbase. Um, they said they were talking about expanding to the American markets just recently, and over at Consensus 2017, a bunch of the big names like NEM, Ripple were all over there, and I could see both NEM and Ripple maybe entering Coinbase in the near future, which would only increase the prices even more, making it more competitive with Ethereum and Ripple, and yeah, dude. So I appreciate everyone watching, and until next time, I appreciate it. Give me your thoughts. If I said anything wrong, I am sorry. I'm still new to the whole scene, but NEM sounds like a pretty good value for what it's offering right now, and we'll see what Catapult does, the value in the near future. Thank you. Bye-bye.